Chris and Heather, haha, that's right. It's me, Jizmac of GWAR. Congratulations on your achievements on your YouTube and Facebook channel there at Gastlecast. That's great news for you guys, talking about toys. I'd like for you to talk about GWAR toys. What? There's no GWAR toys anywhere? What the funko? Why isn't there any GWAR toys? Well, let's see. We're sexually violent. That could be one reason. We're not mainstream fodder. When do any of these toy companies get the real balls to make some GWAR toys, right?
After many years, it's finally happening. Our GWAR Mischief Toys collab is here. For many years, I've been a huge GWAR fan. I've been to so many GWAR concerts. I listened to every single album. I am completely on board with GWAR.
I really don't like whatever that face was.
GWAR! Now you do yours.
GWAR.
No. I want you to do it the right way.
GWAR.
That's not the right way.
I don't participate in things like this.
Do it the right way, Heather.
GWAR!
Thank you. It just takes a little poking and I get her to do what she's supposed to do. I got a couple pokes for later too. Back in 2023, we attended New York Comic Con.
GWAR was actually at a few booths down signing their brand new book. I set a timer on my phone and I was like, we have to get away from our booth because Chris has to get the book. He has to get them to sign it. They were only there for like an hour window. I think we were able to escape the booth 2 minutes before it was supposed to be done. But if you've ever been to New York Comic Con, it was crowded. And to get from our booth to a couple booths down, it took a while.
When we got there, I ended up taking out my business card and I threw it just like Gambit from X-Men.
That actually did not happen. Cyborg Destructo was the only member that was still at the booth. We got a book, we got him to sign it. I handed him a bag filled with Mischief Toys items. I think there may have been a shirt, but there was definitely our figures.
We gave him one of these guys.
There was a business card and we said, please contact us. We would love to make a GWAR inspired figure. He said, I'll give this to my manager. He turned around, handed the card to his manager, and that's when I realized that his butt cheeks were out. That's my favorite thing to talk about because I don't think that there is ever going to be another business transaction when I'm speaking to somebody and I also see their butt.
So after we threw them the card, I didn't think we'd ever hear from them again, honestly.
Same.
We had one card, one bag of figures, and that was it. We had to run back to the booth for more cards. When we came back, they were gone. So we thought our chances were zilch, nada, never gonna happen. But we were wrong.
About 2 weeks later, we received an email from their manager that said, hey, let's chat.
And that was when the GWAR X Mischief Toys collab started happening. Let me take you way back to 2019 when I was laying in bed. I had no clothing on and I was above the blankets because it was a little hot in the bedroom. I was a little sweaty and a tad bit turned on. Heather was sleeping. There wasn't much for me to do. So I grabbed my phone, I grabbed my stylus, and I went to work.
Why the f did you just say all that?
Laying on my bed while watching Family Guy, I had this eureka moment. I decided I was going to draw a little character for a toy company mascot contest. I was going to try my hand at it. And let me tell you something, I'm not an artist, not even at all, not even just a little bit.
Nope. Horrible artist, does not do good, can hardly hold a pencil. It's weird.
You do realize I'm the guy that created Gastley.
Terrible art.
And when I was creating Gastley, I was thinking about GWAR the entire time.
Is that why you had a big
I didn't say.
You said you were sweaty and turned on. I'm assuming there was a involved.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe not, Heather. You're making things weird. I put little horns on him just like Balzac.
Just like you, because you were laying there horny.
Little did I know when I was coming up with this character that eventually I would be making a character that would look like Balzac. It would be Balzac's minion. So that's what started Mischief Toys, making this little tiny character that did not win a mascot contest. We ended up taking it and making it our own. And here we are in our 4th year of Mischief Toys, which is incredible. And in our 4th year, it's our very first time ever doing any sort of licensing. And the first license, which makes complete sense, and what's a full circle moment, is that the character that I created inspired by GWAR ends up crossing over with GWAR themselves.
It's awesome.
Now, when we started talks about what this character would be, I immediately knew that I wanted to be Balzac because many years ago, when I was customizing Funko Pops, I made a Balzac Funko Pop because I love the character so much. I love the big jaws that he has. I love the horns. He's so badass looking.
The hooves, because they sort of resemble your feet.
Hooves.
Why is Demonstro still here?
That's fine. This is fine. When I created the custom, I wondered, why can't I find any GWAR collectibles? Where the hell are they? And what I learned is that they were very few and far between. Over the years, you're seeing more and more GWAR collectibles. When we started Mischief Toys, I knew right away that eventually we would have to work with GWAR in some capacity and make a figure of our own.
Well, guess what? We did, and now it's here, baby.
I didn't want to make something that was already in existence. I wanted to take our character and meld him with one of the characters from GWAR. Balzac seemed like the perfect candidate, and I thought, wouldn't Gastley be cool as a little minion, aka maid, aka house bitch, to GWAR? And that's how the whole story for this character started. Basically, Gastley takes care of the fortress in Antarctica. He keeps everything cleaned up while GWAR goes on tour, and then when GWAR returns, they tear the whole place up all over again. We reached out to our lovely artist Noelle because, of course, I'm not the artist because I have no artist bones in my body other than making Gastley in that very archaic little drawing. Noelle took the idea of making Gastley a Balzac minion to a level that I never thought we'd get to. She absolutely killed it, just like GWAR would.
So honestly, we sort of just gave her a bunch of pictures and said, this is the outfit we want him to wear, or I mean, I guess it's what his skin looks like. We saw the process from start to finish, but there wasn't a time where she did something and it was like, can you change this? Like, it literally was seamless. It was incredible. So with this figure, we decided to make his helmet metallic, and we have released metallic figures since designing this artwork, but this is technically our first metallic design.
One thing I can say for sure is that the GWAR team is absolutely amazing, so easy to work with, and it was great partnership. We would pitch ideas to them and they immediately were on board. Everybody reviewed it, including the band, which is incredibly special. I wrote the story for the back of the box. I even wrote scripts for Balzac for our Night of Mischief event.
Silence, humans. Seashore infernal blather. It is I, Balzac, the Jaws of Death, and I have come to interrupt your Night of Mischief with the most important news you will hear all decade. Because your lords and masters GWAR have teamed up with those idiots at Mischief Toys to bring you something really, really special. This is Minion Gastley. Look at him, he's so cute. Some people say he looks like me, but I don't see the resemblance at all. And I've never had sex with any rubber toys, so he couldn't be my kid. At least not vaginal sex. This is Minion Gastley. He's our little house bitch who cleans up the Antarctic fortress of all the piss and shit and jizz off the walls and floors and couches. Though we have a lot of very sexy couches in our fortress. But anyway, this is Minion Gastley from GWAR and Mischief Toys, and it is coming soon. So get yours before we murder them all.
And everything that I had come up with, they approved. The GWAR stamp of approval.
Why did you say it like that?
Felt good.
Okay.
Like your bangs.
Why are you bringing my bangs into this?
Because they feel good. The fact that they were completely on board with everything made this very first partnership and licensing deal like the greatest ever. And I don't believe it's ever going to be as great as it was or is with GWAR. I am so stoked that we can finally introduce all of this stuff to you, which we have been doing over the last couple of days via Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. We finally have been able to show you everything that we have to offer for this drop. One thing that you should know is that we developed this figure originally where it was going to be 300 pieces, and that was it. We weren't going to make any more, but we decided to up the ante. And then we decided we were going to spatter these motherfuckers. And why is spattering important, Heather?
Because when you go to a GWAR show, you get spattered by all sorts of stuff. Blood, guts,
and cum.
Okay. I was not gonna take it that far.
Cummy nummies.
Ew. What's really messed up about the whole spatter thing though, we had already approved the samples, they had already been mass produced, the figures were created, they were painted, they were glued together, and the last step was to put them in the boxes and ship them out to us in like a day or two. So the manufacturer could not spatter them. That's when...
Heather spattered all of them.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, we're just gonna sell them as is, but Chris was like, no, you're gonna spatter them. And I was like, okay. But what's really cool about it, it took forever. Literally weeks of my time. I thought it was gonna go super fast. It did not go fast. Spattering is not as easy as I thought it would be. That is for sure.
You were flicking that paintbrush like I've never seen before.
I was. Paintbrushes.
You must have gone through some sort of training because you knew how to flick that paintbrush.
Paintbrushes, toothbrushes, even my hands at one point. I was just using my hands.
Oh, I saw you were
paint.
doing this and she looked like a wizard.
Yeah, it was
like
cool.
Doing magic.
It was cool. But what's really cool about them being hand spattered is that it's literally like these little minion Gastleys were actually with GWAR because they got their blood and their guts and their...
Cummy nummies. What?
And they're all completely different, as if you are really at a GWAR show. And I think that's very special and very unique. But something interesting happened. I was sort of a rebel. I told GWAR I don't just want to spatter the figures, I'd like to spatter the figures and the front of the boxes. And they said no. But with every shipment, we typically receive some damaged boxes. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spatter a couple of damaged boxes just to see what they would look like. If we like it, then we'll pass it along to GWAR and see if they like it. And they loved it, and they said do it. And so the boxes are spattered.
So something funny I do want to mention before we go any further is that GWAR actually shared a Gastlecast video a couple years ago.
Yeah, in one of their emails, I forgot about that because we had reviewed some little figures that
They're
they
little
had put out.
knucklehead figures.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of a history with GWAR.
I don't even think that they realize it.
Probably no. They're rock stars, Heather. They don't give a f. So you heard it here. These figures are spattered, and they're hand spattered by Heather, and they're all different. But we decided to go even a step further than that. We decided we would make a blacklight poster. And this is a f***ing banger. The blacklight poster was sort of a joke. I pitched it to Heather, as we normally would, and Heather said, oh, that's cool. And she went off and figured the whole thing out, found a company that could make a classic blacklight poster. I didn't even know that existed in the United States, but you found them.
That actually started like less than a month ago. Like I was able to find them, send them artwork, and get it in hand in less than a month somehow.
And I would say it is one of the greatest pieces to this entire drop, and this is going to be available on drop day, and there's only 70 pieces. You're probably wondering about all the different figures too. The blue spatter is going to be on GWAR.net, and there's only 150 of these figures. And then there's the unscathed, unspattered figure, which there are 320 of, and a green blood spatter, that's 100 pieces, and then a red blood spatter, my personal favorite, that's 50 pieces. Now these three figures are going to be sold as a mystery. You're going to buy a figure and you're not going to know which one you're getting.
They are called the Variants of Violence.
That's a badass name, Heather.
I know.
You better TM it before somebody steals it. Then we have pin bundles. We have 2 pins that are 150 count. One's black light and one is glow in the dark. They're both equally awesome. And these pins were designed by Matt McGuire of GWAR, aka Solborg Destructo. How incredible is it that we have a pin designed by one of the members of GWAR?
It's crazy. I really didn't even think that that would happen, but it did.
So when you buy one of these pin bundles, you have no idea what figure you'll get or which pin you'll get, but no matter which ones you get, they're going to be awesome.
And the last variant of Minion Gastley, but certainly not least, is the signed variant. It is an unscathed Minion Gastley, but his box is signed by all of the current members of GWAR, and it is awesome. Limited to just 30 pieces. It's $85 and limited to only 30 pieces, available on MischiefToys.com.
And then we have apparel. like this shirt right here that has the same artwork as our blacklight poster. And we have a sick Minion Gastley hat in a dad hat variant and also a flat brim variant.
And guess what? The hats glow in the black light, baby. All of these items are going to be available tomorrow, which is Tuesday, May the 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern, both the blue spattered figure on GWAR.net and all of our offerings on MischiefToys.com. They will all be on the home page as well as their respective places. So the merch, including the shirt, the hats, and the poster, will be under the Mischief merch tab, and the figures will be under the Shop Gastley tab.
So just 1 year ago, we were in Baltimore for a Maryland Day event, and we were invited to a GWAR concert. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. We went to the GWAR concert, we went backstage, we were able to hang out with the band and their managers and discuss all the great things that you're seeing here today. It has been a long time coming, but we're finally coming on you. And to get ready for this drop, we went and took all sorts of great photos, not only here at our own home, but also in a place called Fort Armstead, which is an old World War I fort that is such an incredible sight. It's tagged, it's graffitied. It is such an interesting place. But the biggest thing that was created for this drop was that video created by our friend Nick Morgan, who slaughtered a stop motion video. He killed it. We added some music over top of it and sound effects. Highly recommend that you go and watch it. I'm going to put the link in the description.
My favorite part of that video is the gory hole. And they also call him Gasleek instead of Gastley.
My favorite part is when his arm gets chopped off and he's bleeding everywhere.
Okay, that's really good too.
So tomorrow's the big day. Get yourself prepared now for 1 p.m. Eastern. This is a drop that you're not going to want to miss. It's a monumental drop for Mischief Toys, and it is something that will go down in the history books for our small independent toy company based out of Maryland. If you're new, we're glad to have you.
And if you're old like me, because I just found a gray hair in my eyebrow, welcome back. And we're excited to ship you your new GWAR gear.
Do you want to win artist proofs of our brand new GWAR pins? Well, post hashtag Slaughterama and let us know your favorite variant of violence in the comments below. And one thing we have not mentioned are stickers, and that's something very popular within the Mischief Toys community, and believe me when I tell you these stickers are sick. With every purchase, you will end up getting one of these lovely stickers.
Well, for every figure, you will get a sticker, and if you order the pin bundle, you will get a second sticker that correlates with the pin that you receive.
Make sure you visit MischiefToys.com. It's going to be a big one. In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons on Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Timmy Minaj, Ronaldo Gomez, Tonya Arlafond, Sacco Potato, Jeremy Strecker, Adam Ang, John McCormick, Douglas Hunt, Snaps by Reyes, and Anita Axton Antania. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock so hard. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast. If you want to find out ways that you can support this awesome channel, every single month we go live with our patrons. We hang out, we do giveaways and show you upcoming Mischief Toy stuff. And in the month of May, we showed our brand new Living Dead Weekend zombie figure that we're going to be putting out for the Living Dead Weekend convention, which is coming up in June. And we also outlined all of the GWAR stuff before anybody else was able to see it. It is a blast of a time. Come over and join us at patreon.com/Gastlecast. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. That way you'll know anytime we go live or post brand new content. We go live every Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. Come and join us. That's all we've got for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.